When we talk about someone thinking about us, it's easy to dismiss it as just imagination or wishful thinking. After all, thoughts are invisible, intangible, they don't have shape or sound. But what we often forget is that the mind and heart communicate through subtler languages than words. This communication can feel like the softest breeze that brushes your skin on a quiet, still day, almost imperceptible, yet undeniably there if you pay attention. This method I'm about to share with you isn't about chasing fantasies or interpreting random signs. It's about awakening your inner awareness, tuning your own senses to catch those delicate whispers of connection that pass between minds and hearts without needing to be spoken aloud. It is a practice in presence and clarity, a way of learning to feel the unseen threads that link you to another person. Imagine the mind like water. When someone thinks about you, their thoughts ripple across the surface and send waves that eventually reach you, even if you cannot see them with your eyes. These ripples are like energetic fingerprints, unique impressions left by the focus of their attention. And the first step to sensing these ripples is to quiet your own mind, to calm the constant chatter and noise that distract you from these subtle signals. In our world filled with endless distractions, the noise of notifications, conversations, and our own swirling thoughts, stillness is a revolutionary act. When you are silent and grounded, your awareness sharpens. You become a receptive vessel, able to receive the gentle ripples sent your way. But this is not about forcing or controlling the experience. When you try too hard to feel someone's thoughts, you actually block the natural flow. Instead, you must cultivate an attitude of openness, receptivity, and trust. Presence is something that is felt and not demanded. The moment you grasp or strain, the signal slips away. So the method encourages surrender to the moment, to relax, to breathe deeply, and to trust your own inner compass. We often confuse projection with perception, imagining signs that may not truly exist. Our mind is a pattern-seeking machine, constantly looking for meaning in randomness. But this method helps you distinguish between genuine intuitive perception and the stories your mind creates out of longing or fear. This clarity is essential because when you truly feel someone thinking about you, it will come not as a vague hunch but as a clear, resonant knowing that touches your whole being. This way of perceiving takes patience and practice. It is a slow unfolding, the deepening of your own intuitive capacity. You must learn to listen not just with your ears, but with your whole body, your heart, your breath, your subtle sensations. Your intuition is the bridge between the seen and unseen, between thought and feeling. It is a precious gift that connects you to the invisible world of emotional energy and attention. Remember this, the mind thinks in linear patterns, but the heart perceives in moments of truth. When you master the language of the heart, you can sense the invisible threads connecting you to another person's mind. You will feel it in your body, in your emotions, and in the quiet spaces between your thoughts. And this is where true connection begins, in the sacred space of presence and awareness, beyond words and appearances. In a world that never seems to pause, where noise and movement fill every corner of our lives, cultivating stillness can feel like a radical act. But this stillness isn't about emptiness or silence alone. It is about presence, a deep, grounded presence where you fully inhabit your body and mind without distraction. When you create this space inside yourself, you open a doorway to awareness, to sensing subtle energies that are always flowing around you, but often go unnoticed. This is the gateway to feeling when someone is thinking about you. Without this stillness, the gentle signals are lost in the noise of everyday life. Imagine your mind as a turbulent sea, constantly tossing waves of thoughts, worries, and judgments. To perceive the quiet ripple of someone's attention, you must first calm the storm inside. This calming happens through intentional moments of pause, a few minutes where you stop to breathe deeply and simply allow yourself to be. You don't need a fancy meditation practice or hours of silence. Even small, intentional breaks where you reconnect with your breath can create a profound shift in your awareness. These moments plant seeds of stillness that grow stronger each day. During these moments of stillness, don't try to summon thoughts of the person or strain to feel their presence. Instead, anchor yourself in your body, notice the weight of your feet on the ground, the gentle rise and fall of your chest with each breath. Be fully here. This grounded presence is like a clear, calm lake surface, perfectly still and reflective. When your own inner world is peaceful, it acts like a mirror that can catch even the faintest ripple from someone else's thoughts. It's important to approach this practice with patience and without expectation. The signals you are seeking don't arrive like a sudden explosion or dramatic sign. They are more like a whisper or a subtle shift in the atmosphere around you. The more often you practice stillness, the more finely tuned your senses become to these subtle changes. Like learning to hear a quiet melody in a noisy room, it takes repetition and dedication. Stillness is also a form of surrender. It means releasing the urge to control, to force, or to grasp at what you want to feel. When you surrender into stillness, you open yourself to the flow of life and connection. You trust that the signals will come when the time is right and in the way they are meant to. This trust creates a space for natural connection, free of tension or anxiety. Through cultivating stillness, you are not only learning to sense others, you are transforming your relationship with yourself. You become more compassionate, more present, and more aware of your own inner world. This self-awareness is the foundation for all meaningful connections because it clears the noise that clouds your perception. When you know yourself deeply, you can recognize the energy of others clearly and without confusion. Finally, understand that stillness is a lifelong practice. It is not a one-time achievement but a way of being. Each day offers countless opportunities to come back to this quiet center. Whether through breath, nature, or moments of solitude, every step you take toward stillness strengthens your ability to feel the subtle presence of someone's thoughts reaching toward you. This quiet power is yours to cultivate, a sacred practice that deepens your sensitivity, presence, and connection with the world around you. Have you ever experienced a sudden flutter in your chest or a warmth spreading through your body just as someone appears in your thoughts? These sensations are not random, they are your body's natural response to unseen energy, a physical echo of someone's attention focusing on you. Our bodies hold wisdom that often bypasses the mind. When someone's mind connects with yours, it sends subtle vibrations that your nervous system can pick up, even if you are not consciously aware of it. Learning to trust these bodily sensations is a key step in truly feeling when he's thinking about you. The body is a messenger, a sacred instrument that translates invisible emotional currents into tangible feelings. It is common for people to dismiss these sensations as coincidence or imagination, but they are often the first indicators of connection beyond the visible world. When you become aware of these bodily signals, a tingling in your hands, a sudden lightness in your heart, a soft pressure behind your eyes, you tap into an ancient language that transcends words. This language is as old as human connection itself. But here lies a subtle challenge: not every bodily sensation is meaningful or related to his thoughts. Our bodies also react to stress, excitement, fear, or anticipation, and these feelings can create sensations that confuse us. So, the practice is to cultivate gentle observation, to notice these signals without jumping to conclusions or weaving stories around them. It's about watching closely and patiently over time, learning to differentiate between random bodily reactions and true energetic responses linked to his focus on you. Timing is crucial. Pay attention to when these sensations arise. Are they sudden, appearing when your mind drifts to him? Do they happen in a rhythmic pattern, like a heartbeat syncing with an invisible presence? Do you feel calm or energized after these sensations? When you begin to recognize patterns in your body's response, you unlock a new level of awareness, a map of connection written in sensations. Another important aspect is grounding. Sometimes intense emotions or anxiety can create physical sensations that mimic the signals you seek. Ground yourself by focusing on your breath and your physical connection to the earth. When you feel centered and stable, your body's messages become clearer and more reliable. This stability allows you to tune into the subtle signals without confusion. Trusting your body is trusting yourself. The body does not lie, but it requires your conscious attention to interpret its messages correctly. The more you listen, the more confident you become in discerning when his thoughts turn toward you. This trust is like building a relationship with yourself, a partnership where you honor your inner wisdom and allow it to guide you. Ultimately, the body acts as a bridge between the intangible world of thoughts and the tangible world of experience. By learning to feel these physical clues, you open a new doorway to connection. You no longer rely solely on external signs or words, but on an inner knowing that is direct, immediate, and deeply true. This is the heart of the method, a practice in embodied awareness that connects you to the unseen energy of someone's mind focusing on you. Energy is the invisible thread that connects all living things. It is the subtle current flowing beneath the surface of reality, shaping our experiences in ways we often don't see but can deeply feel. When someone's mind turns toward you, their energy sends a ripple across space that can gently brush against your own. This isn't magic or fantasy, it is an ancient truth recognized by mystics, sages, and scientists alike. The energy moves beyond words, beyond physical distance, and when you learn to recognize these shifts, you step into a profound new level of connection. To sense this, you need to cultivate a heightened awareness of your surroundings, not just the physical environment, but the energetic atmosphere you inhabit. Sometimes, the shift in energy is so subtle it feels like a barely perceptible change in the air around you. A slight drop or rise in temperature, a sudden fluttering sensation on your skin, or even a soft shiver that seems to come from nowhere can be a sign. These are energetic fingerprints left by someone's attention reaching across the distance to you. But often, the changes are more emotional than physical. You might notice a quiet calm washing over you unexpectedly, or a sudden uplift in your mood, as if an unseen hand gently strokes your heart. These emotional shifts are the energetic signatures of connection, vibrations that resonate deep within your nervous system and alter your internal landscape. They are the invisible gestures of care, attention, and focus from another soul. It's important to remember these energy shifts are rarely loud or dramatic. They are subtle, delicate, and often fleeting. Because of this subtlety, you need to train yourself to become a keen observer of the moments when your emotional or physical state changes without clear cause. Is the breeze suddenly warmer? Do you feel an unexplainable lightness or heaviness? Are your thoughts gently pulled in a certain direction? These are the cues that energy is moving toward you. You might also notice synchronicities accompanying these shifts, the bird suddenly flying by, a song lyric echoing a shared feeling, or a recurring symbol that reminds you of him. These external signs are like energy markers, reinforcing the invisible connection. Together, the internal shift and external signs create a tapestry of communication woven between hearts. Practicing awareness of energy shifts takes time and patience. It requires tuning your senses to a frequency that most people overlook in the rush of modern life. But once you begin to notice, you will realize how alive and vibrant the world really is, how many silent conversations are happening just beyond your normal perception. In this practice, you become like a sensitive instrument, able to detect the soft vibrations of someone's thoughts reaching out to you. You no longer need words or physical presence to feel the connection. Instead, you are attuned to the flow of energy, which is the true language of the heart. Embrace this subtle power. It is a gift that opens your world to deeper connection, greater empathy, and profound understanding. Intuition is often misunderstood, dismissed as mere guesswork or coincidence. But true intuition is a sacred gift, an inner compass finely tuned to the unseen currents of life. It is your soul's way of whispering truths that the mind cannot yet grasp. When it comes to feeling if he's thinking about you, your intuition is the most reliable guide you have. It doesn't shout or demand, it gently nudges, offering a quiet certainty that grows stronger the more you listen. The first step in cultivating intuition is learning to trust yourself. So many of us have been conditioned to doubt our instincts, to prioritize logic and external validation over the quiet voice within. But that inner voice is deeply wise, it draws on a wellspring of subtle knowledge gathered through your experiences, your emotions, and the invisible energetic exchanges you share with others. When you open to this wisdom, you enter a space of profound clarity and peace. Intuition often speaks through feelings rather than words. It might come as a sudden calmness in your chest, a knowing smile that appears without reason, or a gentle pull in your thoughts toward him. These feelings are not random, they are the language of your deeper self communicating with your conscious mind. The more you practice noticing and honoring these signals, the clearer and more unmistakable they become. However, intuition requires patience. It does not always offer immediate answers. Sometimes, it plants seeds that bloom slowly over time. You might feel a quiet certainty about his thoughts today that becomes undeniable only after days or weeks of reflection. This unfolding is part of the process, a dance between your conscious awareness and the deeper wisdom that moves beneath the surface. One of the biggest obstacles to intuition is fear or doubt. When we are anxious or desperate, our minds create stories that cloud the truth. To hear your intuition clearly, you must cultivate a mindset of calm openness. Meditative practices, mindful breathing, or simply spending time in nature can help clear the mental fog, allowing your intuition to shine through. Trusting your intuition also means acting on it when it calls you. If you sense his thoughts reaching out to you, don't dismiss it or push it aside. Honor it by allowing yourself to feel, to reflect, or even to reach out if that feels right. The act of acknowledging your intuition strengthens its power and deepens the connection you share. Remember, intuition is not about control or prediction, it is about presence and connection. It invites you to flow with the subtle energies that surround you rather than resist or analyze them. When you live guided by intuition, you align yourself with the natural rhythms of life and love, opening the door to experiences that transcend logic and touch the heart deeply. In our fast-paced lives, we often overlook the small, quiet moments that carry the most meaning. The art of quiet observation is about slowing down and tuning into those delicate signs that reveal when someone's mind lingers on you. It requires patience and a soft focus, not the sharp, demanding gaze of expectation, but the gentle curiosity of a calm heart. When you practice this, you begin to notice how the smallest things carry the weight of profound connection. Notice the way his name might suddenly come to your mind unbidden, not as a fleeting thought but as a quiet presence that stays for a while. Observe how your attention might drift toward places you shared or moments that hold special meaning. These moments are not coincidences, they are echoes of his attention traveling across time and space, gently brushing against your awareness. Learning to recognize this is like becoming a gardener of your inner landscape and nurturing the seeds of connection hidden in everyday life. Quiet observation also means paying attention to your emotional shifts. You might feel a sudden uplift in your spirit, a soft smile appearing without reason, or a deep sense of calm that washes over you unexpectedly. These emotional currents are subtle signals that his thoughts are close to you, even if he is physically far away. The more you tune into these feelings, the more your sensitivity deepens, and the clearer these signs become. Sometimes the signs come through dreams, fleeting images, or sudden insights that seem to come from nowhere. These are the subconscious mind's way of processing the energetic connection you share. Rather than dismissing them as random or unimportant, honor them as gifts from your deeper self. Keep a journal to capture these moments. Writing them down strengthens your ability to recognize patterns and deepen your understanding of his presence. Another crucial aspect of quiet observation is resisting the urge to overanalyze or control the experience. When you chase signs or desperately seek proof, you create tension that blocks natural flow. Instead, cultivate a relaxed and trusting attitude. Let the signs come to you naturally, like leaves carried on a gentle breeze, rather than forcing them to appear. This openness invites deeper connection without pressure or fear. Remember that quiet observation is a practice, not a skill you master overnight. It takes time to develop the patience to simply watch and wait without judgment or expectation. But as you deepen this practice, you create a sacred space within yourself where connection can blossom effortlessly. You become a witness to the invisible dance of attention and thought, able to perceive what most people miss. In this stillness, you open your heart and mind to the subtle language of love, a language spoken not through words, but through feelings, energies, and small, sacred moments. The art of quiet observation transforms waiting into presence, absence into connection, and longing into knowing. Silence is often misunderstood. We fear it, fill it with noise, or rush to break it with words. But in the space between words lies a profound power, a silent language where thoughts and feelings flow freely without the need for expression. When he is thinking about you, this silence carries a weight, a presence that you can feel if you learn to listen deeply. Trusting the silence is about tuning your awareness to what is unspoken, yet deeply present. In many relationships, the moments without words are the richest. It is in these pauses that true connection often reveals itself. When you can sit comfortably with silence, without anxiety or expectation, you open a channel to sense his presence in the quiet. This silence is not emptiness, it is full of possibility, charged with energy waiting to be felt. It is a sacred space where minds meet beyond the limitations of speech. Trusting this silence requires courage. It asks you to let go of the need to fill every moment with explanation or reassurance. Instead, you allow yourself to simply be, to hold the space for both your own feelings and his unseen presence. When you do this, the silence becomes a mirror reflecting the depth of your connection. You may notice subtle shifts in your breath, the calming of your thoughts, or a soft warmth in your heart. These are signs that he is thinking of you, speaking through the quiet. This kind of listening is not passive, it is an active practice of awareness. It invites you to become fully present, to observe without judgment, and to embrace whatever arises within the silence. Sometimes the silence may feel heavy or uncertain, and that's okay. These moments carry lessons about patience, trust, and surrender. By holding the silence without fear, you deepen your sensitivity and your capacity to receive his thoughts. The silence between words also holds the energy of intention. Even when he is not physically near or speaking to you, his focus on you creates a subtle vibration that you can feel in these quiet moments. This is the pulse of connection, steady, unseen, but real. It is like the calm before a wave, full of potential and movement. Remember, language often limits what can be shared. The deepest feelings are usually too vast for words. Trusting the silence means trusting the truth that lives beyond language, the truth that he thinks of you, cares for you, and is present with you in ways that cannot be spoken but can be deeply felt. Everything in the universe vibrates, including our thoughts, emotions, and energy. When we speak of someone thinking about you, it's really about alignment, your inner frequency tuning in harmony with theirs. Like two musical notes finding resonance, when your energy matches his, you become a magnet for his thoughts, and you can feel his presence clearly. This alignment is not about forcing or manipulating, it's about cultivating an authentic state of being where connection naturally flows. To align your frequency, start with self-awareness. Notice what emotions and thoughts you hold most often. Are you carrying anxiety, doubt, or resistance? Or are you grounded, calm, and open? Your energy field reflects your inner state, and when it is cluttered or tense, it creates interference that blocks subtle connections. By gently shifting your mindset toward peace and openness, you clear the space for his thoughts to reach you more easily. One practical way to raise your frequency is through practices that bring you into your body and heart, mindful breathing, gentle movement, or simply spending time in nature. These actions anchor you in the present moment, where authentic connection lives. When you are fully present, your energy radiates with clarity and warmth, which naturally attracts the focus of someone who cares for you. Another key element is releasing attachment to the outcome. When you become desperate or overly focused on trying to catch his thoughts, your energy tightens and repels connection. Instead, cultivate a loving detachment, care deeply, but allow space for things to unfold naturally. This creates a magnetic field of calm confidence that draws his attention without force. Visualize your frequency like a radio signal. When the dial is off, the signal is weak and static-filled. But as you tune the dial to the right station, your authentic self, the signal becomes clear and strong. In this clarity, you feel the gentle waves of his thoughts coming toward you, like a message carried on the wind. This is not wishful thinking, it's the natural law of energetic resonance. This alignment also deepens your empathy and understanding. As your frequency attunes to his, you start to sense his moods, his concerns, and his joys even without direct communication. This intuitive connection enriches your relationship and allows you to respond from a place of compassion and presence. Remember, frequency alignment is a practice and a way of life. It invites you to nurture your inner world, to stay grounded, and to hold faith in the unseen currents connecting you. When you live in this aligned state, you are not just waiting for his thoughts, you are actively participating in a dance of energy that draws you closer, heart to heart. The mind is a mirror reflecting the energies you send out and the energies you receive. When you wonder if he is thinking about you, it's essential to understand that your own mental landscape plays a powerful role in shaping that experience. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions create an energetic field that interacts with his. This is why cultivating clarity and calmness within yourself becomes crucial, because what you hold inside influences what you perceive outside. When your mind is peaceful and centered, it reflects like a still lake, able to capture the ripples of his attention more clearly. But if your mind is turbulent, filled with fear, doubt, or jealousy, it distorts the reflection and creates noise that blocks your awareness. You become like a stormy sea where signals are lost or misinterpreted. This is why inner work, mindfulness, and emotional balance are not just personal growth tools, they are gateways to deeper connection. This mirror also invites honesty. Sometimes we project what we want onto others, imagining their thoughts and feelings without grounding them in reality. The practice here is to observe your mental and emotional state without judgment, noticing where your expectations or insecurities may color your perception. This self-awareness refines your ability to sense what is true and what is projection. Reflection also means recognizing the interconnectedness of your minds. When it thinks of you, it leaves a trace in the collective energetic field that you both share. Your mind can pick up these traces if you are open and receptive. It is a subtle dance where your awareness acts as a tuning fork, vibrating in harmony with his focus. This connection is not about controlling or forcing but about allowing and receiving. The clearer and more centered you become, the more you see how your own thoughts and emotions serve as a bridge rather than a barrier. This awareness empowers you to shift your inner state intentionally, to invite connection rather than push it away. It is a profound responsibility but also a profound freedom. Ultimately, your mind is not just a passive receiver but an active participant in this exchange. By cultivating clarity, presence, and reflection, you become a conscious co-creator of the connection, able to feel when he is thinking of you with a deep, unwavering knowing. Finally, it is essential to embrace the mystery of connection. Not everything about feeling when he is thinking of you can be understood or controlled. Some things are meant to be felt, experienced, and trusted beyond logic. This is where surrender becomes a powerful practice, letting go of the need to know exactly how or when, and opening your heart to the experience itself. Surrender is not giving up, it is a deep act of trust. Trust in yourself, in the subtle energies that weave between hearts, and in the timing of life. When you surrender, you release the tight grip of fear, doubt, and impatience that blocks the natural flow of connection. You step into a space of openness where miracles quietly unfold. In this place of surrender, you find peace, not because everything is certain, but because you are no longer fighting against the unknown. You accept that love and attention can travel through unseen channels, reaching you even when words and presence are absent. This acceptance deepens your sensitivity and opens your soul to receive the gifts that come. Trust also means honoring your worthiness. You are deserving of connection, attention, and love simply because you exist. When you hold this truth, you radiate confidence and light that draws him toward you naturally. You no longer chase or grasp, you attract with a calm, steady force. Remember, this journey is not about proof or certainty but about feeling and presence. When you try the method I shared, you will begin to notice subtle shifts, sensations, and signs. Some days will be clearer than others, and that's part of the beauty. The ebb and flow of connection mirrors the rhythms of life. So, step into this practice with an open heart, a calm mind, and patient spirit. Feel into the quiet spaces, trust your intuition, and embrace the mystery. In doing so, you will clearly feel when he is thinking about you, not as a guess, but as a deep knowing that lights your path and nourishes your soul.